Ladies, we often have various concerns about AMH levels, egg quality, fibroids, endometriosis, and the host of other things that can get in the way of fertility, or just wondering if we're healthy enough anyway to have our babies after 40. And a lot of you are interested in the subject of herbs, like what herbs can I take to improve my fertility? And a lot of you are running out to Whole Foods and your local nature store to get those herbs to eat. And it's like, are you even doing the right thing for yourself? You don't really know, right? And I don't want you wasting your time and your resources. And so that's why I brought on holistic fertility expert and herbalist, Dr. Ashish Paul. She is based out of the UK, but she services women on an international level and can ship her herbs anywhere. And we want to just dispel any mysteries or questions that you may have about what herbs, how much, and for how long with this conversation here. So thank you for coming. And if you would just please give a little bit of your background, your history of herbs, and why you are passionate about this subject.
Thank you, Chia. Thank you so much for having me. And you and I are raising a lot of awareness about this whole topic. Getting pregnant over 40 has become the new norm and new hot topic.
Yes.
I am a qualified Ayurvedic doctor as well as I'm a medical herbalist, and I'm also trained teacher trainer, yoga practitioner as well.
Wow.
And my journey started with my own journey of getting pregnant. We had children after 10 years of being married. And nothing wrong with both of us. I'm a practitioner. I obviously know everything, what to do right and do things, everything. I was doing all of those. But then we got pregnant with IVF, first time pregnant, and got pregnant with twins, which is like
Wow.
less than 1% chance. And it is with that journey that I started meeting more moms with twins and triplets, and I started hearing more about IVF, which is, in my case, it was first time IVF successful, and I didn't realize how rare that was.
Wow. All right.
And when I started meeting more women, it's like 3 cycles, 5 cycles, 7 cycles of IVF. And I thought, this is madness.
Wow.
We have got herbal medicines, we have got natural stuff we can do, we have got Ayurvedic medicine. Why are we not doing that? So it started from that. And now, 10 years down the line, I have supported now couples and women over the years because I just feel that women are at that level, men and women couples are at that level where they're just so desperate and they have no support from even IVF clinics don't really support you at overall your journey. They're doing treatments for you, but there
Yeah.
is no support. And there is also no knowledge that you need your health to be able to get pregnant, no matter what the age.
Right.
So, that is why I have become more and more passionate, as well as that because I have healthy children. IVF twins, the boy and a girl, they're healthy, they're 17 years old. And my pregnancy was overall relatively healthy. I was 37 weeks plus when, C-section was done to take them out. But I have just over the years become more passionate because I know now I see the results. So now I know, okay, if we support it this way, we have better chance of IVF working. We have better chance of IUI working, even for same sex couples, for example.
Yeah.
And they have their own hurdles, right? So yeah, now I know so much more after
Yeah.
10 years of doing this. So I want to help more women. I want to reach out to more women and couples, and the fact that they're not using herbal medicines and they're not using them in the right way. So here's my whole journey and my whole reason of doing this.
And I think that it's wonderful that, IVF is a part of your story because women might get the idea that, oh, she only wants to promote holistic means and she's against the medical means. And that's not true at all. That's not even part of your own personal story. You can have it either way. And so, with that, I do want to talk about, how herbs can potentially help speed up the IVF or IUI process, because
Yes.
that is your experience. So, let's talk about that. Like, how do herbs assist with that?
Absolutely. I think herbs can assist with wherever you are in your journey of fertility, right?
Mhm.
So if you are a completely healthy person, start with herbs to support that so that you stay healthy. Okay,
Okay.
both the partners. So in Ayurvedic medicine, we start 6 months at least before we detox. We do whole, it's called Panchkarma program, which is a deep detox for both partners. It's a mental, physical, emotional detox. It's also a spiritual detox. You are starting on a spiritual journey that you are
Mhm.
inviting a soul into your life, right? So we
Yes.
start with all of that. There are a lot of rituals involved also. I don't go into rituals that much, but it's all mindset issues,
Mhm.
that we are putting our mind to something where we are inviting this healthy, beautiful baby into our lives, right?
Yes.
So you start there. You can take herbal medicine just on the dose, which is just maintenance dose.
Hmm.
If you are at a journey where now you have been trying for 6 months and it hasn't happened yet, then you start investigating. There you can take herbal medicine. Dose will be slightly higher because now we know that there is an issue that it hasn't happened yet. So that means certain things need to get balanced, right?
Right.
Herbal medicines also support your gut health. They can also support your mental health. They can also support your sleep health. They can also support your liver health because all of these things could be indicated in why you are not able to get pregnant. And I'm talking about both partners because now I've started talking, making sure that I'm talking about men also in this, as you know.
Absolutely. It's 50%. There's no baby made by one person.
No, no, it's not. It's not. So you start with herbs at that point. Okay. If it hasn't happened for you for 6, 7 months, 8 months, you start with a holistic practitioner.
Good.
Right. So you go to them, you get yourself assessed, your body, mind, constitution, and then you can take certain herbal medications. At up until that point, you can take to lower doses. You can take herbal teas, you can take some herbal supplements. Okay, because we don't know how worse the things are at that point. Yeah.
Right.
If it hasn't happened for those who are 1 year plus, you definitely need to go deeper into it. You need to take max doses of everything so that it can happen faster for you. Why? Because we don't want to lose time. We already in on fertility journey, we are not losing time in days. We lose time in months. Okay.
Right.
If it
Hmm.
hasn't happened this month, it will be next month. The window is only 24 to 48 hours, which opens every month. So we are losing months here. Yeah.
Right.
And then fertility herbs, there are no specific herbs that are used only for fertility. Okay. In
Hmm.
Ayurveda, we have certain herbs that are uterine tonics that we use. There are certain herbs that are sperm tonics that we use. So there are certain of those herbs, but they are given in combination with antioxidant herbs, given in combination with bitter herbs, so that we are working on different systems of your body. Okay.
Right.
That's how herbal medicines are used.
That's right. And so I already know this. Some ladies, they're on the edges of their seat. So, well, what are some herbs I can take if I just, am getting started? I'm not at the 6 months. I'm just getting started. They're gonna want to know some. So go ahead and drop some of the herbs that you like.
Okay, these are also part of my two guides that I've made as well. So people can also download those guides as well, really simple and straightforward, so that they're using proper herbs and not using something which is totally waste of time, right? So
Yes.
certain herbs, for example, women know shatavari is one of the very common herb that women are using. It is a beautiful tonic. It is a rejuvenation tonic for your uterus. Okay, it has to be used in a certain way. If your gut is compromised, you can't digest it, you can't take higher doses of it. But that is one. Ashwagandha is other one that very commonly is known. Women know this, but that is a herb for men. We use ashwagandha. It's a male herb. We use it to increase sperm quality
Nice.
in men. Yeah. And then there are certain other herbs we use. Fenugreek seeds, for example, we use as part of so that your blood sugar level remains really regular and you are able to have really good quality hormones.
Hmm.
Generally speaking, herbs which are rich in what we call phytoestrogens, such as wild yam, which is rich in phytoestrogens. Phytoestrogens are the ones which support your hormones. Okay. So
Yes.
those herbs which are rich in phytoestrogens can be eaten, can be taken as food, can also be taken as supplements. Yeah.
Nice.
And then people are also using a lot of supplements. I mean, you tell me which supplements have you have you heard from them?
You know what's interesting? They're not necessarily communicating to me what herbs I think that they should take, or they're not asking me for herbal advice.
Yeah, yeah.
They're always asking me just simply, what can I do to get pregnant? What can I do? And so I know that the use of herbs is a route to getting pregnant, or debugging the barriers why you can't get pregnant, right? Oh, so what have you got there? What's that?
I've got these are the herbs that I use. So these are the packs that go to my patients around the world. So there are I'm just going to talk about this a little bit.
Yes, please.
Um, so the herb packs that I have made, which includes these. This is yoni soak, I think. Yeah, this is for the soak,
Okay.
so that you can sit in it, pelvic soak. Yeah. So for that particular reason, I have made three different herb packs now for women around and men for men as well. Yeah, which is either an introductory dose, which is starting dose, or medium dose, or maximum dose. Because what I have seen in my practice is all of these herbs to be used together.
Hmm.
And that's how they are more effective. Okay. So if you then want to get the effect that my patients are getting, the idea would be to get the whole pack. That's why I've made these packs available now. And it took me a long time to get to this point, Chia, because I was so adamant to, not give it out just like that because they're very potent herbs and they're very expensive as well. So if you don't really know how and what to use, I didn't want people to not use it properly,
Right.
right? And
Yeah.
also use it safely. Okay. But now I know after working with them for 10 years, all these herbs that I've used with my patients, I know that they're safe and they can be taken as such. So those are the things that, your women can check out.
Well, I appreciate you like showing them, what they would be getting if they decided to order. And you did mention as well that you have a download, and so we'll include the link in the video description here. So
Yeah.
if they want to just get some basic education on herbs and their use as the first step,
Mhm.
we'll make that possible. So, one, I also just wanted to touch on something you said. I was asking you about your background, and I was like, what is that? Lipstick? Can you tell the ladies why you chose that background? Because this is part of the mindset aspect of this, like why you have this colorful background.
Okay, so this colorful background, yes, the history behind that is that I always like to use things which are playful because when women are going through fertility issues, it's already a very sad time for so many people. Okay, they
Mhm.
have been trying for a while and it's not happening for them. So they're sad. I like to cheer people up. I'm a very positive, cheerful person. I don't like sadness much, even though I'm a very sincere person, but I'm not sad down person. I don't like to see people sad and down. So this is one of the backgrounds that I chose because children play with crayons. I love colors. I used to paint and I still would love to paint at some point, have an exhibition. So I used to paint proper like oil paintings and stuff. So I love colors. And I think life should be colorful. So that's the whole reasoning for choosing these.
And I love that. When you explained it to me, I loved it because so many women are encountering practitioners that leave them feeling sad,
Yeah.
right? And leave them feeling hopeless. And I think the attitude of the practitioner, like the practitioner is your teammate, and the energy that they are flowing towards your goals and your journey is just as important as anything.
I
And
know.
I do find it seems to me that women do start to get a little serious as they're on their conception journey, and they're very, where did I drink too much coffee, or I had some wine and I had, I
Okay.
hear the relief that they experience when they just decide to give up on their journey and just let whatever happens happens. They feel happier. And so anyway, I just think that happiness is a very important component part to the whole journey, and I just thought that that was sweet.
Thank you. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Think it's important for us to not lose ourselves on this journey. And I
Hmm.
know this because it took us 10 years, and I don't consider myself at that point, it wasn't like, okay, it's life or death situation for me, but that's me personal. But I do understand when you want something so badly and then it is not happening for you. So you need that cheering person, cheerleader for you, So yeah, I like to do that.
And that's why I have you here, because you're one of my international cheerleaders. All right, so back to the herbs. Let's get back to these herbs. So, one of the questions or concerns that ladies are coming to me with is about their AMH and egg quality. AMH, egg quality. These two things, the doctor said, the doctor said. So, how are we using herbs to address this particular concern? And should we be concerned about these as singular concerns?
No, we should not be concerned about just singular concern. This is one of my most prized possessions in herbal medication packs that I give. It's called Fertility Ghee. I don't know
Okay.
if you can probably see it, it's not very clear. It's called fertility ghee. And this is actual ghee, okay? Medicinal
Oh,
ghee, which we use to improve egg quality. That's how it looks like, golden.
wow. I've never heard of that. I'm gonna order some. I'm not even trying to have a baby, but I like ghee.
So this is a medication. But okay, so look, we cannot look at AMH in isolation, okay, or egg quality in isolation. It is part of your health. And AMH is, if doctor says to you you're 40 plus, doctor says to you your AMH is low, guess what, dude, give me some other news, because 40 plus your AMH is bound to be low. It is under 1 for most women, because
Yeah,
that's the natural cycle of the body. Okay,
right.
so we are not looking at that. What we are looking at, do you have a viable egg at that point? If you have one or two or three, generally 40 plus, it'll be 5 6 under 10, generally speaking. Some
Hmm.
women have more. um, do you have egg available? Okay. And just think about naturally, Chia, we only have one egg released every month naturally.
And we start
That
off with
is,
like millions, right? When we're born.
yeah, 300,000
So
is what
those
we.
just die off, I guess. And then
They
I
die
mean
off
this is
every month. There are few which get initiated, and then some of them are just used for nutrition. And there is only one egg that is released every month, and that's what we are relying on. Okay, so what we need is the quality of the egg, and when the quality of the egg improves, AMH improves. My patients improve AMH. Every patient improves AMH, regardless, because
right.
we are doing so much nutrition for them, so much holistic nutrition for them.
Yes.
And then whatever method you're using, it will become more effective for you. Yeah. But
Yeah.
what I find is the question that you have asked, whether AMH or egg quality, it is seen in isolation, and then
Mhm.
it becomes like an obsession. And it should not be seen in just in isolation, you know.
Exactly. And I knew that answer to that, and I wanted you to express that out loud because they are left feeling like that's the number and that's what it is and nothing can be done about it and oh boo-hoo.
Yeah.
So thank you for addressing that. Now, when you see ladies with fibroids,
Mhm.
how do we like to approach their fertility journeys with herbs?
Okay, my protocol is that if somebody has got fibroid less than 5 centimeters,
Hmm.
we work on their health for 3 months, and the chances are that we are able to reduce that fibroid to the point where it doesn't affect your fertility.
Okay.
Okay.
And what does work on your health mean?
By giving them herbs and giving them dietary and lifestyle changes, exercise, and the whole, if they work with me. But
Okay.
that's my protocol. If it is more than 5 centimeters, then it should be there should be surgery involved. It should be removed, especially the fibroids which are inside the uterine cavity, because they will affect implantation. The fibroids which are outside the uterine cavity, even the large ones, generally we don't do anything to them. Okay,
Okay.
because they don't affect your ability to get pregnant. But I normally, if patient has the time, then
Hmm.
I give them 3 months of medications, and then they can go with IVF or even naturally. I have had patients 40 plus, actually, she was 42, had fibroid also. So, fibroid also reduced as well. She did get pregnant,
Right.
and she was 42. So, because herbs work holistically, and even the dietary and lifestyle changes that we are doing, it works holistically on your health. So, while if your fibroid is reducing in size, that means you're becoming healthier. That
Yes.
means you're becoming more fertile as well, right?
Right.
So we don't have to work separately on fertility because if
Hmm.
you're working on the reducing the size of the fibroid, that in itself means that your fertility is increasing, right?
Right, that makes sense. And I
Yeah.
know, like, because I've done so many interviews with you before, I think ladies will find this interesting that you will take approaches where you are applying herbs topically, vaginally, orally. Like, can we talk a little bit more about the application of herbs in the various orifices, if you will? Um,
In every way possible. You can eat them. You can eat them like these ones are capsules, So most of these are capsules that I give to patients so they can eat them. Look at this. If you can see these. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
they're capsules. You can eat them. I also give advice where you can, some of the herbs which can be eaten as part of salads, which can be eaten as part of your gravies, curries, because there's so many herbs that you can eat. You can make energy bowls with them. So
Mm,
whatever you can eat orally. And then you can use topically on your skin. So wherever it is possible, I do talk about using sesame oil on your skin. Sesame oil is rich in calcium because it comes from sesame seeds, which are rich in calcium. So
Oh, wow.
sesame oil that way is more nutritious to use. Then I also give vaginal oils and herbs, sometimes even powders to insert vaginally if we can't use oil for whatever reason. You
Okay.
can also use herbal teas vaginally, as well as this yoni soak, which is like sitz bath. So you
Yeah.
make a decoction and you sit in it, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So these are dried herbs. There are three herbs in it, and they're dried herbs. And then I also give anally. So you can use herbs anally as well, because idea is to use herbs locally, as close we can go to uterus. Yeah.
Yes.
And then I do treatments where I also give oil or medicinal oils in the uterus.
Mm-hmm.
So directly into the uterus, which we normally use for opening the tubes. Yeah.
I was literally just getting ready to ask you about the block tubes. I would assume the protocols are pretty similar.
Yeah, yeah. Similar protocols. And then topically you use like castor oil you can use sesame oil. I give medicinal oils that they can use topically at the place where the tubes lie, where the uterus is, so that we are getting goodness from all sides as
Right.
much as we can. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. This is extremely helpful because I know that ladies want to simply just be healthier in general, and they should be. And so the use of herbs just for overall improvement of health is extremely valid.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I want to touch on with you, Nis, because I want to keep this short, is why should a lady consult a practitioner for medicinal herbs? Can we talk about that versus just simply going to the store and buying herbs?
The biggest reason is because you are under supervision. If
Mm,
anything reacts, if your body does not like something, or even if it is okay, I've done research on this. So
mm,
there are about in comparison to medical drugs, which people react to, the cases are about 170, 80,000,
okay.
and herbs is not even one.
Hmm.
Okay. So herbs are very safe to use. Yeah.
Yes.
But you don't know how all of these are going to interact with each other unless a practitioner is involved. If I'm your practitioner, then you tell me, okay, I'm a little bit constipated, and that shouldn't happen if I'm giving you herbs. Then I know that there is something else is going on. What did you eat? How did you sleep? What else is going on in your life? So we can track things so that
Right.
we are not going on the wrong path and you're not reacting to certain things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can make it more specific in the shortest span of time. Yeah,
Hmm.
because most people who are using herbs, they're buying from over-the-counter shops, and some over-the-counter shops do have their own practitioners, which are giving basic advice, okay,
Yeah.
just to cover themselves. But at the same time, they don't know your full medical history. Sometimes I have given patients medications. It's after 3, 4 weeks they mention something, and I'm like, oh my God, then you should not be
Mhm.
using this herb because you are there is something else going on. Because
Yeah.
people don't mention everything, in the first 60-minute consultation is not enough to mention your whole life history.
Right.
And certain foods people might be eating, even culturally, which are going to react with the herbs that you take.
Hmm.
So that you are safe, I am safe, and also the baby who's going to come is safe, and all the herbs that you're taking are safe for the
Yes.
children as well. So it is for the utmost safety
Mm.
that anything as precious as your baby, you don't want to take a chance with just taking herbs from whoever. You know,
Right.
you want a practitioner who's qualified, who's trained in it. A person like me who has got, what do they say? Experts need 10,000 hours. I've got more than that now, you know,
Hmm.
so that we can completely support your health. And if that herb is not suitable for you, I can give you something else.
Right. And what about dosaging? Are we talking about, well, like when we compare prescribed medicinal herbs to over the counters, what are we looking at?
Oh, it's a difference of night and day, you
Right.
know. So the herbal teas that most people are taking, like Twinings and all, I don't want to mention brands, and brands are doing their own thing, but over the counter herb or over the counter drug means that it is safe for general population, which means the dosage naturally is very low.
Yeah.
Okay, that is why it is over the counter. So same with herbs. If you're taking herbal teas, is the weakest form of dosage that is available, right? So that means if you're trying to do something very fast in the next 4 weeks, you're going to need buckets of it, which
Mm-hmm.
is why we need dosage. My dosages are very high in these packs that I've shown you. So dosage is hugely important, and the dose that people are getting from over-the-counter herbs is not enough. And secondly, even if they take higher doses, some people think, oh, I'm going to take higher dosage because I'm trying to do something fast. It can react, right? Because you're
Right.
not under the care of a practitioner. So yeah, so dosage is hugely important.
Okay. So thank you for explaining that because I just wanted to make sure that ladies understood, okay, great, there's going to be a download and you can learn more about herbs than simply running to the store. I mean, it can't hurt, if you want to run to the store and purchase herbs because that's what your budget allows, then fine.
Yeah,
But if you are actively trying to conceive and you want to take the time, because again, as you mentioned, we're not talking days, we're talking months. And as our ages move up, like
yeah,
these months are valuable. These months are valuable. And so that's why if you're interested in employing the use of herbs in your journey, I implore you to, you can work with Ashish or you can search in your local area. It's fine. It doesn't have to be her, but I
yeah.
just wanted to give you some knowledge on the subject. I do have in the description here a link to her landing page where you can check out some of the herbal packages that she is offering, that she has been working with them for so long, right? That this is the dosage for this and off you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
do. I do. I just want to mention here, um, for your people, wherever they are in the world, now you have got so many followers, amazing women who are connected to you from all over the world. So I always say to people, if I'm not everybody can work with me and I cannot work with everybody, right? But what you need is even a local practitioner who is a herbalist who you can go to. And whatever your budget is, you work within that. Okay,
right.
so it doesn't have to be thousands and thousands. So whatever you can work with, if you are working with the practitioner, then you are much more safer, and it is going to be much more effective than rather than just buying something over the counter. And that is the reason two guides that I mentioned earlier,
Mhm.
I have mentioned the names of the herbs and the generic dosage so that you can find in your local stores and still be safe and use the herbs which are actually useful for your fertility.
Right. Well, there we go. We want you to have the herbs that are useful for your fertility. If that should be the actual title because there's a lot of herbs, but then maybe they're not all useful for what you're trying to accomplish, and that's an
Yeah.
important point. Ashish, I really appreciate you taking the time that you have. I'm sure that my members here appreciate it as well, just sharing your insight and making yourself available. Um, Ladies, again, all of her information that you need is in the description here, so you can reach out to her if you'd like to try some of her herbs. Um, it's always a pleasure.
Thank
It's
you.
always a pleasure. Thank you.